Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing God of War 1 on God difficulty, and this is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on part 43, the final boss, 1 of 3. Now, I just want to set your mind at ease. Everything that this boss does can be blocked with the exception of his 2-hit combo. I'm not going to go into his attacks except to say that if you are getting hit by them, it's most probably because you're not blocking early enough. Even when he starts to use his flamethrower with his weapon at about 25% reduced health, even that starts up very quickly. But the main thing that you need to know about this boss is that anytime there is significant ground to cover between him and you, what he does is he will run over to you and do a 2-hit combo. The 2-hit combo is an overhead smash with an inflamed weapon. He lights his weapon on fire, he smashes it in front of him on the ground, and you get staggered. You can block it, you take a little bit of damage, but it's a setup for the second hit, which is a follow-up sweep. And together, the combined damage of that plus that, it's about 90% of your life, 85 to 95% of your health taken out. Now, the best way to avoid it is to switch from your blades to the Blade of Artemis. And if you aren't comfortable weapon switching, I can tell you that the iframes that you get right here, switch. All you have to do is just switch. As you're blocking, press R1. That's all you have to do. You get a generous amount of iframes for it. I've never got hit. In all of my 10 hours doing this boss, I never got hit weapon switching. So that's you have to know that. Now there is like a 5% chance out of 100 that when you're close to him, he will do the 2-hit combo, but he mainly does it. He first of all, he always does it at the beginning of the fight, so you can get to practice it really well. See, like right now, he's gonna charge me, and then do the move. Now, once he starts throwing the flaming boulders at you, which is probably the low point of this admittedly great fight. This boss is a simple boss that's just very deadly. That's the thing about this boss fight, and the reason it took me 10 hours is because I was tolerant of 0 mistakes. I had to do this boss fight no damage for some reason, and it's just frustrating to be obsessed with something like that. So a lot of this fight, doing it, well, I was my own worst enemy, so it was horrible. But there is a very small chance that when he's next to you, he'll do the 2-hit combo. But everything else is just blockable. Okay? And then after, what do you do after you switch? You switch, you just block the second hit. And then I go in for R1s with the Blade of Artemis. The R1 is probably the best way to get your magic back. And you might have noticed that I did use the Army of Hades a couple of times on this fight. The reason for that is because this boss takes an eternity to beat. I've beat him on a no upgrade run, and it could take it's a 30-minute fight. And even with maxed out weapons, it still takes a lot of time without using your magic. So that's what I would do. Now, after he throws his boulders, there is a chance that he will do the 2-hit combo if too much space is in between you and him. There's also a chance that he'll just do it when he's right next to you like this. So this is a rare time of him doing it when he's right next to me. And when you're casting the Army of Hades, there's not much visibility because you've got all those souls around the screen. But just take comfort in the fact that as long as you're next to him, all you have to do is keep your guard up. He won't do any unblockable attacks. For the most part. I mean, like I said, there's a small chance, but it hardly ever happens. And in this, what you can do here, you can do the combat roll, but bear in mind that there just isn't much room to move and roll around in. It's not very pleasant, but you can do the combat roll. And when you're doing the combat roll, of course, you have the most iframes when you're dodging forward. So, not always. You don't always have that luxury of dodging forward, because sometimes if you dodge forward, you're going to land right in one of those boulders. So tap like a madman when you get the circle button prompt. This is a button pressing ordeal where you've got to tap like an absolute madman, like you were fighting the satyrs, and then there's 2 QuickTime buttons after that. But 10 hours, no damage. All I wanted was a clean fight. All I wanted. It's frustrating because this boss is easy. He's a simple boss who takes forever to kill, even with maxed out weapons, and who has very deadly moves. That's what he is. One of the things too, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but activating the Cyclone of Chaos, accidentally activating that, can be a death sentence. This game should not have a system where you can accidentally activate moves like that. Please, in the future, it should never have been where you can activate a move like that on accident. And I know it's the player's fault, it's my fault, but let the person disable those moves. It's so frustrating. That has been part 43, everyone. I will see you in the next video, the 44th part. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I wanted to just get to the point. The next fight will be the clones. The fight after that will be Ares 2 of 2. Please take care.